All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California, founder and CEO of ILCA, Ivy League Crypto Academy. And we did a crypto talk this morning in our inner circle. And if you've ever listened to me before, you know, while I'm covering information, I might get inspired and start going off on tangents. So I went off on a little tangent this morning when we were talking about marketing and learning certain skill sets to have success. And I said, okay, well, you know, this wasn't scheduled for this inner circle, but I will come back later and I'll go live for the public and share this little bit of information. What if I told you I can tell you one secret when it comes to marketing? That's the number one reason why all successful marketers have success. Would you want to know what that is? One thing, because when you think of marketing, that's a big umbrella. You got marketing. Well, do I have to learn how to use YouTube? Do I learn how to use social media? Do I need to learn how to create a capture page, a landing page? Do I know how to edit photos and use Canva? Do I know how to write email campaigns? Do I know the CRM system? Do I know how to do a three-way call? Do I know how to follow up with cold market people? Do I know how to buy leads? Do I know how to set up an ad campaign on Facebook or Google or Twitter? Do I know how to get a Stripe account? Do I know? I mean, there's so many freaking things when it comes to marketing. But what if I told you the one main thing you need to focus on this? If you focus on this one main thing, you will be light years ahead of everybody else. And it is one thing that every, not only successful marketer, but in every direct sales company, the top money earners, they do this. If you look at politicians, they do this. If you look at motivational speakers, they do this. If you watch the Olympics, you know, for me it's Channel 4, but NBC, when NBC be doing the Olympics and they're covering gymnastics or swimming or any sport, they do this. Do you want to know what that is? One thing, telling a story. Telling a story. I'll give you another example. What is the hottest show on TV right now? And they just had a season finale. House of the Dragon. The first 2 or 3 episodes was all about a story. Before you got to the action and everything else, it was about a story. Learning about the characters. Why should I invest? Like, what if you go back to even Game of Thrones? Do you want to know the biggest dichotomy? One of the reasons why that had so much success was that they did an excellent job getting you invested in a character. And then they killed that character way before you think that character should have been gone. When that happened on season 1 of Game of Thrones, it threw everybody into shock. Everybody was in shock. It's like, okay, have you ever seen Rogue One from Star Wars? Rogue One? I'm going to give you just one example and kind of a spoiler alert. So if you are planning on seeing Rogue One and you haven't yet, but it's been out for so long now, everybody dies. Everybody dies. But that's why it was so successful, because you invested in the story. Not John Stark, Ned Stark. Neddard Stark. That was shocking. But it was so shocking because you were invested in the character. So what does that have to do with you and telling a story? Well, success leaves clues. If you look at if you're in any company right now, I don't care the company you're in, and you look at the person making the most money, that individual could be horrible at giving a presentation, horrible at explaining the compensation plan, horrible at explaining about the products, struggles to put two sentences together about the business. But the one thing that they're good at is sharing their story. They tell you their background, who they are, where they come from, why they don't, why they're doing what they're doing, what they feel this is going to do for them, where they see this going in the future. How does it make them feel? And they never have to talk about products or anything. And they have people signing up with them and joining them or wanting to listen to them. If you've ever gone to Eric Worre's event, Go Pro in Vegas, he does once a year. You're not allowed to talk about your product, your company, your compensation plan. And it is a class action on the art of telling your stories, because every single speaker up there, that's all they're doing. Some think it is, circle jerking. Everybody is up there just patting themselves on the back, but at the end of the day, it is telling a story. So all you need to learn first up, because your marketing, whether it's your CRM system, whether you're building an avatar, whether you're building your funnel, you are wrapping all of that around your story. When you've got your digital business card, your digital business card is not you talking about your business and opportunity. It is introducing the people of who you are. Why should I know more about you? What can you say in 30 seconds that's piquing my interest? Your story. I remember in my early career when I didn't get this, and I was in a presentation and I was frustrated. And I was frustrated because I'm like, I want to make money. And I studied everything about the products. I know everything about how the products work. I learned the compensation plan inside out. I learned the presentation slides I memorize them, where I don't even need to look at the slides. I can give a presentation. I learned all the stupid jokes they give in the presentation. I can do the presentation better than the person standing in the front of the room. Yet I can't have nobody signing up with me. Yet that person in front of the room, in my opinion, is an idiot. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that person has no idea what they're talking about up there. Yet at the end of the presentation, everybody's signing up with them. What is it about them that's so different than me? Because that person spent 75% of the time talking about their story and only 25% on the presentation and the company. Where I was doing 90% about the company, the products, because I'm like, if your product's so good, it will sell itself. No. It doesn't matter how good your product is. You can be selling the worst product out there and still make millions by selling a crappy product. It is the ability to sell your story. People buy you, not what it is that you're doing. You want to have a following in a network, people are buying you because they see themselves in you. They want to know that if you were able to make it out of whatever your problem was, and my problem was similar to yours, and you found a way out, that means you can show me how to get out of my situation. People buy you. So you need to sell you, not your company, not your products, definitely not the compensation plan. The compensation plan is irrelevant. It doesn't matter how great the compensation plan. The largest network marketing company in the world is Amway, and they've got the worst compensation plan on the planet. How are they still doing it? story. What is your story? Now, here's the part you've got to figure out. You've got to know your story, and you have to have the ability to tell your story. Nobody else can tell your story as good as you. Okay? Nobody can tell your story as good as you because it's your story. Other people can share your story and regurgitate it, but nobody can do it as good as you. So there is no right or wrong. There's only delivery. So you first need to have a story to tell. And every single one of you has a story. Everybody's got a story. Some people call it a sob story, right? The most effective ones have been the ones that get people to cry, tear jerkers, because you have emotions involved, and emotions are the most powerful tool on the planet. Emotions override facts. So if you can figure out not only what your story is, but then how to share it and tell it in increments. Can you share your story in less than 1 minute? Can you share your story, a 5-minute story? Can you have a 15-minute story? Can you have a 30-minute story? Can you give an hour-long story? I can give a weekend-long story. I can talk for 3 days and never talk about my company and my business. Selling a story. I also can do a story in less than a minute. And I will give you some examples because I don't like to just say stuff. I like to back it up. Here's an example of a story. And it's a story that can be relatable to most people. I say, I grew up like the Cosbys. I was taught that if I want to have financial freedom in America, there's a couple of things that I must do. That's go to school, get good grades, get a good, safe, secure job, a job that's going to take care of me for the rest of my life. And that's exactly what I did. I graduated from Morehouse College, went on to have a nice corporate career, but due to no fault of my own, I was laid off not once, but twice from my job. And if you've ever been laid off, you know exactly how that feels. And if you haven't, I guarantee you know somebody who has, and chances are you're working more hours, more time, more effort, and you're not even getting a raise, only to retire broke by the age of 65, according to the federal government. And I said that is not the type of life I want to have. And I made a decision to become an entrepreneur, to work for myself. And I put in the time and hours of work. And thank God I was able to accomplish that, retired at the age of 36 years old. And now every day is a Friday for me. I wake up when I'm finished sleeping. And if I can do it, so can you. That's a story. Let me give another story for you. I was working so hard in my network marketing career that I realized that, everybody's now playing musical chairs. It doesn't matter how hard I work and how great my product is. People don't want to learn personal development and self-improvement, and they think the grass is greener somewhere else. So every 3 months, I had to rebuild over and over and over again. So my pursuit of residual income was no longer there. It's like I'm working a 9-to-5 job again. And I said, I had enough. I want to figure out how I can have passive income and let my money work for me. So I started to look around, and the space that I saw that in was the fastest growing industry that the world has ever seen. In fact, one of the things that I learned is that it is the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most people. And I said, if there's people that can make that happen, then so can I if I'm willing to learn. And I got involved, and I made 7 figures since then. And now I don't have to worry about recruiting anymore. That's a story. What about, let's get more into pain in my story. See, do you ever know what it's like to look yourself in the mirror and say, I did everything that I'm supposed to do, yet I'm still not able to provide for my family. I went to school. I got that good job. I still got laid off. So unemployment's not going to pay enough. I can't find a job. I got to go and face my wife and my kids and figure out, how am I going to make this happen? Got depressed. Find another job where my supervisor doesn't even have a GED, and here I am with a college degree, and I can't make things happen. Going home every day trying to figure out how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay rent by the end of the month? You know that old saying that there's more days left than money? Your money ran out and there's still 12 days left in the month, and you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make things happen? I hated the way that made me feel. I hated it so much that I was willing to look outside of the box. I was willing to see, is there another way that I can make things happen? Obviously, other people are doing it. And if they can do it, maybe I can do it as well. If I can just learn what they've learned and do the things that they do. And I started to actively search. And even in my search, I found another job that still wasn't paying me enough money. I joined a company that I started to have a little success in. And even then, I was terminated from that company, and my job gave me a pink notice, and I was about to get laid off. Do I quit and give up? Or do I keep moving forward? I know what it's like to feel like the walls are closing in on you and that there's no way out. But I also know and learned that I've been in tight situations before, and the Lord has never put me in a situation that I cannot accomplish. And not to look at this as a failure, but a learning experience. What am I going to learn from this? What can I learn? You know, every single one of you has a story. And don't think because somebody else's story is so much more heartbreaking than yours that yours doesn't have value. You know, don't think, well, I grew up with both parents in my household. I grew up with money. I never know what it's like not to have food on the table. I went to school and college. So does that mean I don't have a story? Oh no, you still have a story. Every single one of you has a story. Because the story is not for your sake. The story is for the people out there. Because you don't know who's listening to you. You don't know who can relate to you. Not everybody can relate to me. Not everybody wants to listen to me. Not everybody's going to want to work with me. They don't resonate with me, but they may resonate with Melissa. They may resonate with Van. They may resonate with Janelle. Miss Appling has a story. She's got a strong story. But if nobody hears it, it's not doing you any good. You got to be able to share your story. Share your story. What is your story? Don't be afraid to share your story and talk to people. Don't be afraid or feel ashamed of your past, because it's not where you've been, it's where you're going. It's not who you were, but who you're becoming. And by you becoming gives power to those who haven't seen the light yet. They're still in the dark. And it gives them hope that if you are able to make it out, they can make it out. If you are able to find a solution to your problem, not only can they find a solution to theirs, but your solution may be a solution for them. Or it may not be, but at least they now have a choice. And you allow them to make that choice for themselves. So you're actually doing the world a disservice by not sharing your story. Oprah Winfrey, all she did was share stories. We got Dr. Oz is up there trying to become a senator. How did he become famous? He came on Oprah show and shared his story. How did Dr. Phil become famous? He came on Oprah and shared his story to millions of people. How did Gail become famous? Shared their story in front of millions of people. She just had the platform. So all you need is to do two things: either find a platform that allow you to share your story, or you create one. For a decade and a half, I've been using other people's platform to share my story. This year, I created my own with ILCA. So now I share my story every time I open my mouth. I only got started in crypto with $30 because I was broke and lost $500,000 that I didn't see coming. And I use my education to allow me to have success. I failed along the way. I have a lot of failures. I'm not afraid to talk about my failures. There's a lot of marketers out there that act like their shit don't stink, that they've never failed in life. I share my failures. What's yours? Why should I listen to you? I don't want to hear from somebody that's never failed before and always has success. That's a pipe dream. I want to know that somebody that had flaws still found a way to succeed despite their past, despite their flaws, despite their shortcomings, despite all of the challenges that they've had in their lives. They never gave up. I know history, and I know the history of people who look like me and what they had to go through. How dare I give up and quit? How dare I say I can't do it, I can't make it happen, when the only reason why I am here is because they survived hell on earth? You didn't make it this far in your genes to go through history to get you this far for you to fail and give up. You're not finished yet. Like Dr. Nelson said last night, the Lord gave you breath to live another day. You have another 24 hours to make something of it, to change your current circumstance. Will you spend those next 24 hours wallowing in your self-pity? Or will you use that time and your brain to think your way out of it? Think and grow rich with your story. Share your story. All right, I went longer than I expected to. So that was just on my mind since we were talking about it this morning. And sometimes when I go off on tangents, I'm not able to complete the thought. So when that happens, I'll do a special live like this. So when it comes to marketing, you guys are using ILCA marketing. What is your story? And you integrate that into your marketing. I strongly encourage, get the marketing system, invest in yourself. I saw another individual. I'm not going to put their name out there, but I was looking at her, and she is flying to a convention that it costs $120,000 to be a part of. $120,000. She is investing in herself and her future. Get the marketing system for yourself, to learn a skill set for yourself that's priceless. And with what I have coming with ILCA, you're gonna want to and need to have the marketing system. So that's all I wanted to share. There's no Inner Circle Crypto Talk tomorrow morning, but there is going to be Crypto Talk Saturday morning. There is Crypto Talk Saturday morning, and it's open for the public. And I want to state something else because I made mention of, no, I'm not going to talk about that today. I'll do that on Saturday morning. And then Saturday night, I have a special. The crypto financial storm is coming. It's coming. There's no stopping it. All we can do is prepare for it, survive it, and thrive on the other side of it. If you want to hear that, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, but you've got to be a founding member, which means you have to purchase my crypto courses. You got to purchase the courses because it goes hand in hand. And so I'm going to put that link right here for you to see. Yeah, let's make that a ticker. Nah, I want to make that. Yeah, that's fine. It's scrolling at the bottom. So you can see that. ILCAfounders.com/back to school. ILCAfounders.com/back to school. And if you guys want to hear more, remember before I was Bitcoin Brandon, I was a business mindset coach. And if you want to hear more of me, talking like this and this type of stuff, just let me know. And I'll make sure that I take some time out throughout the week to be talking about some personal development, self-improvement type things, because I definitely will be adding that into our ILCA community next year in our course lineup as well. Personal development, self-improvement stuff. So with that, thank you guys for listening. I hope this reached one or some of you if you're watching it live or you see the replay. And I will see you tonight, day 4 of the People's Money Challenge. Day 4, we're going to talk about wallets and unlocking your wallets and how to purchase Bitcoin and stuff. And we've got Miss Marnita Casa speaking and the original Spider-Man, Tom Schenk. And if you missed last night, Dr. Byron Nelson. And then the night before that, you had Morehouse College professor Oscar Sistrunk. Night before that, you had Patty Geis from San Diego. You're missing out on something that I'm giving away for free. So something else I learned at the end of the day? Price is irrelevant. People will scrutinize something whether it costs money or if it's free. It comes down to value. If somebody values something, it doesn't matter what the price is. You're willing to pay the price if you value it. So before you can value it, let me show you for free so you can see if it's something that you enjoy. So join us for free tonight. ILCAchallenge.com to register. ILCAchallenge.com. All right, Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.